Hi my book besties, it's Erin and welcome to or welcome back to my channel. It's been a minute. I have had like zero time to sit down and film a whole YouTube video, let alone edit one, but I've decided now's the time. I don't really have a second to breathe, but we're gonna make some time to make this happen. So life has just been chaotic. I unfortunately lost my dog that was mentioned in one of my previous videos right before Christmas, so it was a very difficult time for my family and I took a bit of a step away from YouTube especially, but social media in general. And then this semester has been crazy. For those of you who don't know, I'm doing my master's degree right now. And alongside that, I'm also working as a research tech and I'm also TAing a course in the university that I go to as well. So it's very busy right now between my own master's and the course I TA and the other project that I'm working on. It's just a lot of things going on, a lot of students to manage, a lot of paperwork to do. Yeah, it's chaos, but I'm having a good time and I can pay my bills, which is great news. That being said, January was a bit of a slower reading month for me. I will pop all of my January reads right here with my ratings. Okay, amazing. So it wasn't amazing, but it wasn't horrible by any means considering how busy I was. Oh, not to mention also my two dogs, love them to death, but they keep me on my toes for sure. They're in their teenager phase right now and they're high energy breeds. I don't know, they're mixes, but they're probably like border collie, husky, I don't know, shepherd, something mixes. So they have a lot of energy constantly and they are a lot of work. So that doesn't leave me a lot of time to do my other work or read. So it's been chaos. But yeah, what am I up to today? I think this is going to be a little weekend vlog. Today I already went to lab meeting. I did some training with my independent study students. I went to the gym, did a little upper body lift, which was always a blast, my favorite day. And now I'm going to potentially read, maybe make a coffee if the dogs don't start going crazy again. And then whenever they start to get their burst of energy again, I'm gonna go take them for a good long walk. And then I'm going to a fun Valentine's market with some of my gal pals tonight. So we'll see how much I vlog of that, but it should be fun. I don't have a ton of plans for the weekend, but hopefully reading in between doing some work for the class ITA and my master's project and all of the other work that I have going on. So that's my hope. I'm currently reading Kingdom of Claw. I just finished The Road of Bones. Amazing. A fantastic romantasy with like solid fantasy plotline as well. I'd say it's like a good half and half mix of romance and fantasy, but both are done very, very well. And Kingdom of Claw is like somehow even better than The Road of Bones. I love The Road of Bones. I rated it at 4.5 stars, but Kingdom of Claw, it's just like picking up significantly faster than The Road of Bones was. The magic system and the world building is just like being amplified in book 2. And I have a new POV in this one that I am obsessed with. So loving it so far. That's my little update. Come with me to make coffee so long as my dogs don't go insane. And they're wrestling again. So coffee on hold, dog walking first. This is the dog walking fit. I look like an egg and it is minus 15 degrees Celsius outside. Did I forget to film the market? Yes, I did. But I went to the market. It was super fun. Picked up some goodies. So we have a haul. And then I went and got a virgin margarita because why not? I got a mystery scented candle and it smells divine. It just smells like a good smelling man. And that is my favorite genre of candle. Scrumptious. And last but not least, this is a very small haul. I got some essential oils from my favorite local essential oil small biz. I got vanilla sandalwood, which is my favorite scent. I use it as my perfume every single day. And I also put it in my diffuser, and it's like the strongest essential oil ever, so you only need to use 1 drop, so it lasts literally forever. And then I also got one of these little car ones. I have several for myself already in vanilla sandalwood naturally. So this one is for my boyfriend because otherwise his car smells like hockey, and we can't have that. This is sweet eucalyptus and peppermint. And then I got another vanilla sandalwood rollerball, as if I don't have enough of these already, but gotta stay stocked. In terms of my plans for tonight, I think it's gonna be a pretty low-key night. My boyfriend and I are gonna make some dinner together and watch the newest episode of Severance, maybe even read a little bit, and then that's it. So maybe I'll remember to film some of that. If not, I'll see you tomorrow. Hi, it is now Saturday, and I am feeling crusty. I would say good morning, but it's no longer morning. It is 2 p.m. and I have been working or dealing with the dogs literally all morning. I just finished grading a presentation for the class ITA. So now I'm gonna finally make myself a coffee. I have my ice cube fiend here waiting for her ice cube. So I'm gonna do that. And then I have a little setup going on for a Bookstagram picture on my table right now. And then maybe I'm gonna read. I don't know, we'll see if the dogs get a witching hour or not. And then I can read in peace, but we'll see. I canceled literally all of my plans today. I'm not gonna go to the gym. I'm not gonna go to the other Valentine's market today. I'm literally just gonna stay home and grind out some work because I forgot how much work I have to accomplish. So that's what I'm doing right now. Wish me luck. Okay, I thought it would be so much fun to ask everyone on my Instagram for their bookish hot takes, and I think we're gonna go through them here for a little girl chat. So let's go through them. I'm using my iPad because I film my YouTube videos on my phone. Don't make fun of me for being an iPad kid. Let's get started. I skip the epilogue unless it's completely necessary. Okay, interesting hot take. I could never. But I understand why, because I'll read an epilogue sometimes and I'm like, that was a total waste of my 30 minutes. But then sometimes they blow my mind and break my heart. Cough, cough, Clockwork Princess. That one destroyed me. Anyways, I think they're still worth reading, but some of them I agree are a waste of time. I don't like sprayed edges on paperback books. Agreed, honestly. I feel like all of the sprayed edges, it's getting overdone. It's getting very overdone and I'm just kind of tired of it. It's not special anymore because every book and their freaking dog has sprayed edges now, and it's just a little bit underwhelming at this point, especially if it's just like solid sprayed edge. If it has a cool design and it's a special edition or limited edition, cool, I'm here for it, but it's just lost its appeal to me as it's been overdone. Enemies to lovers in contemporary romance doesn't exist. This is a very interesting take, and as a fantasy reader, agree to an extent. I think that enemies to lovers in a genre like fantasy versus a genre like contemporary romance, they're just two completely different terms. Yes, unless the romance is set during like, I don't know, wartime and they're on opposing sides of a war, then that's fair. That's like what you would consider in fantasy enemies to lovers, where they're like mortal rivals. But in contemporary romance, it's usually like, I don't know, they're on opposite school teams. They're school rivals in university or something like that. Or they're like academic rivals in class and they're both competing to be the best in class. I'm like, that's not an enemy. I want you guys to hate each other, be fated to kill each other. That's what I wanted enemies to lovers romance to be, but that's more of a fantasy thing. I don't really think you see like fated to kill each other in contemporary romance. Correct me if I'm wrong, but two very different things in two very different genres, I think. To bounce off of that one, most of the time enemies to lovers is not written well. I agree. I think that with a lot of popular tropes in books, it's just gotten overdone and not executed well because people are just kind of like trying to tick those boxes. So like I said last time, when I say enemies to lovers, I want fated to kill each other. I don't want like, you know, opposite sides of the soccer team or whatever. And I think it's very hard to find a true like enemies to lovers romance, especially in fantasy. Or I guess even in contemporary romance. I don't read as much contemporary romance. I'm just dipping my toes in so I can speak on it a little bit, but not a lot. I'm definitely more familiar with fantasy, but in that sense, I agree. I think it's just becoming overdone and not executed to the best of its ability anymore. Like, I read a book that has been quite hyped up on the internet, or like highly anticipated by a lot of people. It just recently came out, and I unfortunately hated it, and I thought that the romance fell so flat. It was supposed to be like enemies to lovers, but then the enemies lasted for maybe like 2 chapters and then they were in love. So I'm like, where is the tension? It's not here, and I'm looking for it. Oh, this one's controversial. I love a good third act breakup. Give me all the groveling. I am here for it, depending on how it's done. I think that if it fits the storyline, if it makes sense and it's not just like thrown in there to add some tension to the story for no reason, then I like it. I don't like it when it's just like nonsensical. It doesn't fit into the characters. It doesn't fit into the plot lines that are going on. It's just kind of like thrown in there to spice up the story. Then I'm like, I don't want it. I want my stories to make sense. I don't want it to be like I'm doing something again to tick a box of a trope being in the story. You know what I mean? Hardcovers are inconvenient and frustrating. Give me a paperback all day long. Fully agree. In terms of reading experience, I way prefer a paperback. Like, I just want to be able to hold it comfortably, and that is just so difficult with freaking hardcover. But I do love the way a hardcover looks on my shelf, and especially if it's a special edition, because usually those are hardcover. Especially if it has like a foiled hard case, then I'm really into it, or like a design on the hardcover. In love. But for reading experience, I fully agree, paperback all the way. Sarah J. Maas is overhyped. I think this is difficult for me to speak on because the last time I read any SJM books, I was in high school. Like, I'm talking 2017 was when I read like all of the books in 1 year that were out at the time, and then I didn't reread as the new books were coming out. I just read the book that came out as it came out. So it's hard for me to say. Last release that I would have read would have been Silver Flames and what's it called? Kingdom of Ash. I loved them at the time, but it was so long ago that it's hard for me to speak on it when I've become re-immersed in my reading more now than I was at that point in time. Actually, that's a lie. I also read Crescent City last year, and I liked book 1, but it wasn't like my favorite in the whole world, and the other 2 books let me down hardcore. I really wasn't a huge fan of them. So in that sense, I agree. The one series of hers that I read most recently, it wasn't my favorite in the world, but I think I'd have to reread to speak more on this. But also the hype that goes on for her books on the internet is like actually insane. So in that sense, I kind of agree, because what on earth deserves that much obsession? I don't know. I don't think anything, but the obsession is very real for her books on the internet, and it is actually insane. Actually insane. I sit here and say, as I have an SGM tattoo, but I got that tattoo in 2021. So it's been a while. It's been 4 years since I've gotten that tattoo. A lot has changed since then. I still love the tattoo and what it represents. But it's hard for me to speak on that whole topic when it's been so long since I've immersed myself in those 2 series, being Throne of Glass and ACOTAR. I don't know, maybe I should reread and see my thoughts now. I don't know. Last but not least, having multiple editions, like over 6 or 7 of the same book, is a waste of money. I like special editions, but when it's the same book with 5 different covers, it's too much. Honestly, I fully agree. I love special editions too, but whenever possible, I will try to get the special edition of a book that's on my TBR instead of the regular edition. So that way I just have the special edition. I don't have the regular edition. And also like collecting multiple copies of the same book. The only books I think I would do that for is Six of Crows. But other than that, like, I just don't see a point. The Fairy Loot, the Owl Crate, like the regular editions, the UK covers, the US covers, like it's just a lot, and it's a lot of money. So if you have the money and it makes you happy, I guess so, but I don't think I could justify it for myself either. I love all the different covers of things, but I just don't think I could do it. And I think if I got books that I liked a different cover of the book that I have better, I would probably just get rid of the copies that I didn't like as much and only keep the special editions. I just don't think I could justify it. I just pick one or the other at that point. You know what I mean? I don't know. Is that a hot take? I guess so. Anyways, that's my followers' bookish hot takes and how I feel about them. Do you guys agree? Do you disagree? Do you have more hot takes? Please let me know in the comments. I look insane right now, but I figured let's make this a little girl sleepover. Why not? Face masks, self-care, girl talk. So let's jump to the girl talk. I feel like my life has been so chaotic lately, hence why I've been literally gone from YouTube for, God, I don't even know, a month and a half, 2 months. I don't know how long it's been. It's been a long time between the dogs and work and my master's degree and 2 jobs and trying to make this house a home. It's just been chaotic. Hi, Keisha. So it's left me minimal time for content creation and Instagram and reading. Oh, good girl. That's good girl. Dog interruption. So it's just been chaotic to try to not only run an Instagram, run a TikTok, and run a YouTube. And I feel like YouTube, I love it to death. It's just hardest to find like one continuous block of time where I can film long form content for YouTube, especially with my partner working shift work, and he primarily works 12-hour shifts. So when he's at work, the dog care is on me and house care is on me, on top of all of my usual obligations like my 2 jobs, my master's degree, plus content creation and fitting in all the hobbies that I like to do, like reading, working out, all of that jazz. So it's just hard to find time for getting it all together. So it's just really hard to coordinate all of that when I'm the sole person at home. Yeah, it's been overwhelming for sure. It's not that I'm giving up on any of my hobbies. I am able to make it work. It is just busy and a lot to juggle, but I love what I do and I'm never going to give it up. And in terms of content creation, I have really been loving not only focusing on books, but focusing on aesthetic. And I want to start mixing in more things that I enjoy as opposed to only books. I think I'll keep it like book focused, but I want to mix in some other things too. And every time that I brought up the idea to my community, everyone's been like overwhelmingly positive about it, and supportive and encouraging, which has been wonderful. But nonetheless, I'm still so like nervous to actually introduce it and start weaving it in, because I just know people follow accounts for a reason and they don't want to miss out on the content that they originally followed that creator for. So I don't want to let people down, but at the same time, it's my account and I should be doing what makes me happy and not worrying about what everyone else thinks. But that's easier said than done for sure, as I'm sure many of my fellow creators know. And I feel like there's so many rules with content creation, like stay in your niche down until you have a name for yourself, post this many times a day, only post once and let your post breathe. But I'm like, screw it. I just want to post what makes me happy and what fills my cup. And if that resonates with anyone else, awesome. They can be part of my community and I want to welcome them to my spaces, but I want to do first and foremost what makes me happy, and I feel like that will attract people to me more than just posting what I think people will like would anyways. It's just hard to get over that like mental hurdle of like letting people down, even though I don't think anyone would really be let down, realistically speaking. But books are obviously a huge part of my life and that will never go away from my accounts. I still want that to be like the main focus because it is primarily what I spend my free time doing. But I'd love to mix in like a little bit of study, a little bit of woman in STEM content as much as I'm allowed to. Obviously some things I can't show because it's confidential, but it would be fun to mix that in and study and all of that jazz, as well as just like beauty. I love beauty. I just ordered like a big Sephora haul to revamp my makeup routine because it was something that I loved so much when I was younger. I was literally a VIB member of Sephora at the age of like 14, 15. I should not have been spending that much money at Sephora at that age, but I just had such a passion for it and I want to get back into it a little bit. So mixing that in and just sharing my love for other things. Like I post about coffee a ton, obviously, and it's one of my favorite things. I used to be a barista and I love weaving that into my drinks at home. So more like fun recipes and stuff like that. And then I also love working on going to the gym. I feel like I fell off of that for, I don't know, a year or two, especially as I've been in my relationship and been in my master's degree. Things have just gotten so busy and I feel like that was the first thing to go, which it most definitely shouldn't be because it supports my mental health so much. And I also just love doing it. So I'd love to, I guess, implement that maybe more in like a gym fashion sense because that's also something I love, but I think I'd be too scared to actually like go in the gym and film my workouts, especially because I work out at my workplace and a lot of the time like my colleagues and students that I mentor are also there, so I think that would be really mortifying. Maybe if I switch gyms I'll incorporate that, but I also just don't know if that would be something anyone is interested in. Again, I shouldn't even care what anyone else is interested in. If it's of interest to me, I should just do it, but I don't know, we'll see. We'll see. I feel like I say this every month or so and then I never end up actually putting in new things in my content, so we'll see if I actually bite the bullet and do it. I would love to. I want to. That's why I keep saying it, but I just need to actually like stick to my guns and do it because I think I would have so much fun with it. But yeah, I'm just a weensy speck in the world. Not necessarily trying to make a name for myself, but like enjoying the ride of creating content and making videos and sharing my silly little hauls and thoughts on my favorite books with the world. It's so much fun. It's just a lot of work. I normally don't like to drink alone, but we had a lot of leftover Prosecco from book club on Tuesday that I hosted. Can't go to waste. So naturally, I'm having a limoncello spritz. I prefer a Hugo or an Aperol, but this is all the store had at the time, so we're making do, and she's fine. I am comfy, I am ready. This is the most ideal setup. I use this thing all the time and it is the most comfy Kindle stand I've ever used. Anyways, let's get to reading. So I'm on chapter 4 of Savage Lands. I think I'm about halfway through Rotobones. Don't know when I'll finish Rotobones. Sorry, I've been calling it Rotobones this whole time. It's Kingdom of Claw, which is the second book after Rotobones. Rotobones is book 1. Kingdom of Claw is book 2. That's the one I'm reading. But it's a chunky book. Fantastic book, but it is chunky. So no idea when I'll finish that one. Again, I need to finish this one by the 10th. So let's hope to bust through as much of it as I possibly can tonight. Fingers crossed. Shit is getting real in this book. I'm only on chapter 6 and things are not playing out the way that I thought they would. I'm enjoying it though. It is very interesting. I feel like it's setting up the plot and the story very well. I'm extremely intrigued to see where this goes from here. It's too early to say that this was a plot twist because there's not really much plot so far, but like I just didn't expect what happened to happen, but it did. So back to reading. Well, my reading spot has been stolen by these two goobers. So on that note, I think I'm going to set up my book club voting form for next book club meeting. Naturally, I have book mail, and my doggies have come to investigate the crinkling noise. I already know what this is, but let's open it up. Ta-da! I already have book 1 of the series, but I know that all of them are getting traditionally published soon, so I wanted to get the indie paperbacks while I could, so I could have a matching set. So she is here. The last one is still in the mail, but it will be here soon. I think I'm going to hang out and read for the rest of the night, and then I'll go to bed, wake up early in the morning tomorrow, and go to work in the gym. So I will catch you in the morning. Toodles. Good morning. It is the next day, and I just got back from work and the gym. My angels are coming to say hello. I did a little leg day moment, which is my least favorite day at the gym, but what can you do? I'll pop my workout routine for legs right here in case anyone is interested or cares. But I came home with the sweetest little note from my boyfriend who just went to work, and I almost cried. Excuse the blankets on the couch for the dogs, but are you actually kidding me? He made me a flower bookmark. He made me a flower bookmark all on his own. My heart is so full. Anyways, plans for today. I have another presentation to grade. What else do I have going on? I'm going out for lunch with my friend. Hopefully some reading. I am obsessed with Savage Lands. I am so hooked. I think I started last night and I'm 70% through. Like, I am hooked. I am kind of slumping right now. Like, I wouldn't say I'm in a full-blown slump, but like I'm having a hard time being sucked into a book, and this book is just doing it for me. I am so addicted to it and I can't put it down. So if you're in a slump, read Savage Lands, and hopefully my review for this will be up shortly. Hi, my girls. It is now Sunday night. I had the most fun on my little brunch date with my friend, and it was just a big girl talk sesh, debrief, catch up of everything new that's going on. So I didn't film any of it because it was like some serious stuff we were discussing, and it felt very wrong to just be like, let me film for a second. So here is the one photo I took while I was there. But I had the best time. I always love getting together with her. So much fun. I also finished Savage Lands today, and it was just like the most easily bingeable read I've read in a hot minute. I finished the whole thing in 24 hours. It was so entertaining, and it absolutely crushed my reading slump. The end was also a twist I did not see coming. I already want to read book 2, but I have so many books on my TBR that I like actually need to read. So I will be coming back to that series soon, I hope, because I was very entertained by it. I can't wait to see what happens next. So that's where I'm at with that. I need to finish Kingdom of Claw, and I'm so invested in that story. However, I also have an arc sitting on my shelf that comes out on Tuesday. It is Sunday. I haven't started this arc, so I feel like I should probably start it at least a little bit to get into it a bit so I can at least talk about it on my social media on release day. So that's my game plan. I think for the rest of the night, my Kindle is charging because I have not charged it in actually weeks. So taking a hot little break, honestly just going through social media and kind of figuring out inspiration of what I want my accounts to look like and the kind of content that I want to be creating. So it was fun to just like get some inspo. Kind of turned into a doom scroll session, but what can you do? So I'm excited to just create content that I am loving and excited about. So yeah, I hope everyone enjoys it too. But that's where I'm at tonight. The arc that I have coming up this week is called Symbiote, and I have been digging like sci-fi. It's a sci-fi thriller set in Antarctica about basically this weird plague taking over the research camps that are in Antarctica, and I am super intrigued by the description, so I can't wait to get started on it. So I think that's going to be my game plan for this evening.